A fine start for many, turning wet and windy from the west, but a storm is brewing for the weekend. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Thursday.
The Met Office named Storm Amy tomorrow, and it is coming yesterday, and it's coming tomorrow. And because it's the first one of the season, I thought I'd explain why we even do this. So in America, they name their hurricanes because they cause widespread disruption. So we name to cause widespread disruption, something more than just normal autumnal wet and windy weather. And that particularly at this time of year, because we're into early September, the trees are still in October, trees are still in full leaf. We had a lot of rain lately. So these are the storm names that the Met Office have this year, and they were submitted by the public. They've been naming storms for 10 years now. Amy is the first named storm. I can see everybody's exciting. Ed, you've got one here. Eddie, you're one of the storms. But Amy is the first name storm, and it was the most popular female name submitted by the public. So this is what is going to happen. If we look out in the Atlantic, we have our storm developing at the moment. It is set to be picked up by the jet stream, rapidly deepen, that's called explosive cyclogenesis. And later on Friday into Saturday morning, this deep area of low pressure sits to the north of the UK. The isobars close together, showing it's set to be very windy and lots of heavy rain around as well. So multiple warnings in force for heavy rainfall from much of Friday, up to 50 or 60 millimetres of rain, but it is the wind that is most concerning. Most of Friday and Saturday, we have warnings for 70 to 80 mile an hour gusts of wind. These warnings are likely to be upgraded to amber as we head through the next 24 hours. So it's worth staying tuned to the forecast because this storm is set to cause widespread disruption. But before Storm Amy arrives tomorrow, today, yet again, like the last few, is a divided outlook. Northern areas are more likely to be cloudy with rain. Southern areas are that bit drier, but a lot of cloud greets this first thing, which means it's not too cold in the morning. Now, as we head through the day, we have got a warning already for more rain to come. Northern Ireland, Western Scotland, the rain turning heavy here. Good morning to you. We have our first named storm of the season. Storm Amy arrives tomorrow, and this is the list of storm names. We name them when we're set to have an exceptionally windy and wet spell of weather heading across the UK. They're named coming from the public. There were submitted 50,000 people submitted names to the Met Office, and Amy was the most popular. And Northern Ireland with a warning in force, and with the leaves in trees in full leaf at this time of year, we are going to see some widespread disruption, and that is why we name a storm. We've had a lot of rain for September. We continue with that wet theme for the next few days. With these trees in full leaf, it means the branches are likely to come down. So we can see across the north of the UK for the next 7 days, the outlook remains unsettled, mild and then turning cooler, but percentage chance of rainfall remains high. Heavy rain for today and tomorrow. That storm arriving as we head through the weekend. It stays unsettled into next week as well. Fortunes further south for England and Wales as we head through the next 7 days. Again, starting off with our temperatures, a little above average, but I think with the wet and windy conditions, it won't necessarily feel that mild. But percentage chance of rainfall today is not too bad. It's largely fine and dry. The calm before that storm, but turning increasingly wet and windy. Although there's no warnings in force through southern areas, we'll still have wet and windy conditions spreading through Friday and Saturday, and the unsettled theme continues into the start of next week too. Morning to you. It's a fairly cloudy start this morning. We have outbreaks of rain across northern areas moving in through the day. The south is largely dry, but this is how it looks first thing this morning. A lot of cloud around on our satellite picture. Outbreaks of rain, you can see just to the edge of our radar. This is set to spread across the country as we head through the day, and it means it is a mild start this morning with those fairly Good morning to you. Yesterday, the Met Office named the first named storm of our season. Storm Amy will be arriving tomorrow in the mid-Atlantic at the moment. Will head towards the UK, picked up by the jet stream and strengthened tomorrow. It's tomorrow evening and into Saturday, where we have wet and windy conditions across the whole of the UK, but predominantly across the north, with winds here up to 80. Welcome back to Good Morning Britain. We now have our first named storm of the season, Storm Amy, developing in the Atlantic. That arrives later on tomorrow, but for today, it's actually a pretty decent start for many of us. It's fairly cloudy. There's some outbreaks of rain moving in, though, and that heralds the first sign of a change. This wet weather moving in is not Storm Amy. This is a precursor, and worth pointing out, a warning this morning for fog. It is dense through southern areas, so slow going on the roads. For England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start and stays largely fine through the day with highs of 20, so pleasant in the sunshine. But Northern Ireland and Scotland increasingly wet and windy. That wet weather moves through overnight. Tonight it's a mild start tomorrow, but then we see our storm moving in. So later on tomorrow afternoon into the evening, wet and windy weather into the northwest, and this is Storm Amy.